My girlfriend laughed with her cousin saying I was just a warm body until Mr. Right appeared. I acted like I hadn't overheard a single word. That same week I modified exactly one field on our marriage paperwork. When she showed up at the county office 3 days later, the woman behind the counter announced that specific detail out loud, and I watched my girlfriend's expression crumble through the office window. I'm Marcus, 32 years old, and less than a week ago, my soon-to-be wife announced to her family that I was merely filling a spot until someone more worthy walked into her life. When she entered that government building to collect our official documents, she learned the hard way what happens when you treat another human being like they're expendable. Jessica and I had been together for 3 years. Our story began at a mutual friend's ceremony. She was the one who snagged the flowers. We spent the evening on the dance floor, swapped contact info. She was 29, self-assured, possessed this magnetic quality that made you feel like the center of the universe whenever she spoke. Things progressed quickly between us. We became official within a month, shared an apartment after 12 months, got engaged half a year back. My proposal wasn't elaborate, just the two of us during a countryside getaway, perched beside a quiet lake as the sun dipped below the horizon. I'd carried that ring in my jacket for 2 solid weeks, searching for the perfect timing. When I finally asked the question, tears streamed down her face and she immediately accepted. She broadcasted across every platform imaginable, posted the ring photos to Instagram, Facebook, sent messages to every single group chat in her contacts. Her relatives were ecstatic. My folks absolutely adored her. Everything seemed to align perfectly. But now, thinking back, warning signals were flashing that I chose to dismiss. Small remarks that presented as humor but carried subtle barbs. She'd bring me around her social circle and make introductions like, "Meet Marcus. He's working out well for the time being." I'd force a chuckle, convince myself it was simply her dry wit. She'd always leaned toward the sarcastic side. Around 4 months before everything fell apart, the jabs became more regular. We'd be socializing with her colleagues and she'd casually mention, "Marcus isn't particularly driven, though he's got a good heart." Or during family dinners with her parents, she'd throw out lines like, "Still crossing my fingers he'll do something that genuinely impresses me someday." Always delivered with a grin, always punctuated by laughter. But it started chipping away at me. I finally dressed it about 2 months ago. We were at home one evening. She was absorbed in her phone screen and I said, "Could you please quit making these jokes about me being inadequate?" She glanced up, genuinely confused. "What jokes?" "The constant commentary about me lacking ambition, not being impressive enough. It's exhausting." "Marcus, you realize I'm kidding, right?" "It stops feeling like kidding when it's relentless." She exhaled heavily. "You're being overly sensitive. My friends adore you. My family thinks you're wonderful. I'm simply teasing." "Well, it doesn't land as teasing. That's the intention behind it though. Don't blow this out of proportion." I let it go, convinced myself I was being too thin-skinned. But the comments never stopped. 3 weeks ago, we initiated the marriage license paperwork. Standard procedure: you complete the forms, turn them in, wait several days, then personally retrieve the approved document before your ceremony. Jessica wanted to manage most of the wedding arrangements, so I stepped back and let her handle it. We filled everything out together one night. Basic details, full names, home addresses, parents' information. Pretty routine stuff. "I'll drop this off tomorrow morning," she told me. "We can grab it together next week." "Sounds perfect." She appeared genuinely enthusiastic, kept discussing the ceremony, the location they'd reserved, the gown she'd selected. I attempted to mirror her excitement, but something nagged at me. This feeling that she was more invested in the wedding day itself than in actually spending her life married to me. Last Saturday, her cousin Amy stopped by our place. Jessica and Amy had been inseparable since childhood, constantly video chatting, sharing every detail of their lives. I got along fine with Amy. She had a loud personality, strong opinions, but she seemed authentic enough. They settled in the living room while I prepared lunch in the kitchen. Our apartment's small enough that sound carries easily. I wasn't intentionally listening in, but I wasn't exactly blocking them out either. Amy asked, "So how are you feeling?" "Just 3 months until the big day." "Yeah, I suppose so. Still doesn't feel entirely real, you suppose? Girl, you're about to become a married woman. You should be over the moon." Jessica laughed. "I mean, I'm thrilled about the wedding itself. The actual marriage part, that remains to be seen." "What's that supposed to mean?" "Look, Marcus is great and everything, but he's temporary. I'm just keeping him around until someone better shows up." Silence hung in the air. Then Amy, sounding distinctly uncomfortable, "Jessica, that's pretty messed up to say." "Relax, I'm joking. Sort of. Listen, Marcus is sweet, he's reliable. But he's not exactly what I pictured myself ending up with. You know? I always imagined I'd be with someone more accomplished by now, more ambitious, someone who could really provide for us. Marcus is just adequate." "Then why are you going through with marrying him?" "Because I'm 29 and I want to be married already. All my friends have rings on their fingers. I don't want to restart this whole process from scratch. Plus Marcus is easy to manage. He doesn't challenge me, doesn't make demands. If something superior comes along down the line, I'll handle it when it happens." I stood frozen in that kitchen, gripping a knife above the cutting board. It felt like someone had poured a bucket of ice water directly over my head. Amy said quietly, "That's genuinely unfair to him." Jessica replied, "He's clueless, and he'll stay that way. He's too comfortable in this relationship to question a thing." They shifted to discussing centerpiece options. I mechanically finished preparing the food, carried it out to them, maintained a normal fade. Jessica smiled warmly at me. Thanks, babe, no problem. I sat there consuming my meal pretending I hadn't just heard my fiancée tell her cousin I was a temporary solution to her problems. That evening after Amy departed, Jessica was in the bedroom preparing for sleep. I remained on the couch, staring blankly at nothing, attempt to process what my ears had registered. She emerged wearing pajamas. You alright? You've been pretty quiet tonight.
Yeah, just exhausted.
Okay, I'm heading to bed. Coming soon. She kissed my forehead and disappeared into the bedroom. I sat in that spot for another solid hour, then I retrieved my laptop. I accessed the marriage license online portal. We'd both established accounts, but she'd taken the lead on managing everything. I opened the form we'd submitted. Still pending review. Wouldn't be officially processed for another 48 hours. I stared at that screen, replayed her words in my mind. He's temporary. Someone better. Then I navigated down to the portion labeled applicant information. Under my name there was a field requesting current marital intentions. A drop-down menu. The default selection read intent to marry, but alternative options existed for various legal circumstances. I changed mine to withdrawal of intent. Then I saved the modification, logged out, closed the laptop. Sleep didn't come easily that night. Just laid beside Jessica in the darkness, wondering whether I'd just committed the most catastrophic mistake of my existence or made the smartest choice I'd ever made. The following days felt unreal. Jessica behaved completely normally. Discussed wedding details, honeymoon destinations, retrieving the marriage license. We were supposed to collect it together that Wednesday from the county clerk's office. Tuesday evening she mentioned, actually I can just pick it up by myself tomorrow if you're busy. I know you've got that morning appointment. I did have a scheduled meeting, though I'd been considering rescheduling it. You're certain? I asked. Yeah, it's really not a big deal. I'll swing by during my lunch hour. Only one person needs to be present anyway. Alright, if you're comfortable with that. Totally comfortable. A part of me wanted to insist I'd accompany her. But another part, the part that had been replaying her conversation with Amy on endless loop, wanted to witness what would unfold when she weren't alone. Wednesday morning arrived. I attended my meeting, kept my phone muted, couldn't concentrate on a single word being exchanged, just continuously checked the clock. Jessica was scheduled to retrieve the license around 1 in the afternoon. At 1:47 p.m., my phone erupted. Jessica calling. I allowed it to ring through. It stopped then immediately started again. I excused myself from the conference room. Hello? What the hell did you do? Her voice was trembling, not with sadness, with fury. What are you referring to? The marriage license. I just attempted to pick it up and the clerk informed me the application was flagged. She read it out loud in front of a waiting room full of people. It says you withdrew your intent to marry. What the hell? Marcus. I remained silent. Are you there?
Answer me.
I heard you, I stated calmly. Last Saturday, talking with Amy. Complete silence. You heard. I heard you tell her I'm temporary. That you're keeping me around until someone superior appears. That I'm just adequate and you're settling because starting over sounds exhausting. More silence stretched between us. Marcus, I was joking. No, you weren't. Amy even challenged you on it and you doubled down. You said I'm too comfortable to question anything. So I'm questioning it now. I didn't mean it the way it sounded. How did you mean it then? I was just venting. I didn't. You told your cousin you're planning to trade up from me when the opportunity presents itself. And you assumed I'd never discover the truth. Marcus, please. Can we discuss this at home? There's nothing left to discuss. Don't do this. I'm not doing anything. You did this. You've been treating me like a backup option for months. I'm finished being that person. So you sabotaged our marriage license. That's insane. I didn't sabotage anything. I simply ensured you couldn't legally marry someone you don't genuinely want to be with. I do want to be with you. You don't. You want a wedding ceremony. You want to check a box off your life list. You don't want me. She was crying now. That's not true. I love you. You don't. And I'm not marrying someone who considers me a placeholder, Marcus. I disconnected, powered off my phone, sat in my vehicle in that parking structure trying to stop my hands from trembling. I didn't return to our apartment that night, checked into a nearby hotel, reactivated my phone around 8 p.m. 43 missed calls, countless text messages, all from Jessica. Please come home. We need to talk about this. I didn't mean what I said. You're overreacting. I'm sorry, please just talk to me? I didn't reply to any of them, just sat in that sterile hotel room staring at blank walls. Around 10 p.m. my phone rang again. Not Jessica this time, I answered. Hello. Marcus, it's Amy. Please don't hang up. What do you want? Jessica called me. She's completely falling apart. She told me what happened. Good, she should be falling apart. Look, I know what she said was horrible. I told her that when she said it. But she didn't think you'd overhear. She didn't mean for you to get hurt. That doesn't make it acceptable. She said it. She meant it. She's terrified, Marcus. She's scared of winding up alone. She says stupid things when she's scared. That's not my concern anymore. She loves you. She doesn't. She said it herself. I'm temporary, I'm adequate. I'm not what she imagined. Those were her exact words, Amy, not mine. Long pause on the other end. Then quietly, I know. Announced, and I told her she was completely wrong to say that. But she's my cousin. I have to try. I understand, but I'm done. What are you planning to do? I honestly don't know yet. But I'm not marrying her. Are you going to talk to her? Eventually, not tonight. Okay. For what it's worth, I think she realizes she destroyed everything. Good. I ended the call. Collapsed onto the bed, staring at the ceiling. Finally fell asleep around 2 in the morning. The next morning I returned to the apartment. Jessica was sprawled on the living room couch, still wearing yesterday's clothes. Her eyes were bloodshot and swollen. She jumped to her feet when she saw me. Marcus. I'm here to collect some belongings. I'm staying elsewhere for a while. Please don't do this. We can fix this? How exactly? I'll do anything. Therapy, couples counseling, whatever you need. You can't fix this, Jessica. You told your cousin you're using me as a placeholder. That you're waiting for someone better to appear. How do you repair that? I was wrong. I was being stupid. I don't actually feel that way. Then why did you say it? I don't know. I was feeling insecure. I was scared. You were honest. That's what you were. You expressed what you genuinely think, and you didn't care because you assumed I'd never hear it. She started crying again. I do want you. I do want to marry you. You want to marry someone. It doesn't need to be me specifically. You made that abundantly clear. That's not true. Jessica, stop, just stop. I walked past her into the bedroom, began filling a duffel bag. She followed, hovering in the doorway. Where are you going? I don't know yet, but I'm not staying here. For how long? I don't know. Are we breaking up? I stopped packing. Turned to face her directly. Do you actually want to be with me? Not because you're 29 and your friends are married. Not because it's convenient. Do you genuinely want to be with me? She opened her mouth. Closed it again. Couldn't formulate an answer. That's what I thought. I finished packing, walked toward the door. She didn't attempt to stop me. It's been 7 days now. I've been crashing at my brother's place. Haven't spoken to Jessica except through text messages. She's been sending them daily. Apologies, explanations, begging me to come back home. I've been responding with minimal words. Not ready, need space. That's the extent of it. Her family's been contacting me too. Her mother called yesterday afternoon. Marcus, sweetheart, Jessica told me what happened. She's absolutely devastated. She made a mistake. Can't you find it in your heart to forgive her? She didn't make a mistake. She told the truth. She thinks I'm not good enough and she's settling. She didn't mean it that way? Yes, she did. And I'm not going to marry someone who thinks I'm temporary. Her mother tried to continue arguing, but I ended the call. I don't have the energy to explain this over and over to different people. My friends have been mostly supportive. A couple suggested I'm overreacting, that everybody says foolish things they don't mean. But the majority agreed that what she said crossed an unforgivable line. Yesterday, Jessica texted. I canceled the venue and the catering. The wedding's off. I know you're not coming back. I just wanted you to know. I didn't respond immediately. Sat there staring at that message on my screen. Part of me felt relief washing over me. Part of me felt genuine sadness. Not for losing her specifically. For losing the vision of what we could have been if she'd actually valued me as a person. I finally typed back. Okay, that was all. It's been 3 weeks since the marriage license incident changed everything. Jessica and I are officially finished. We met last week to sort out the apartment logistics. She's keeping the place. I'm moving out completely this weekend. The conversation was civil. Awkward as hell, but civil. She apologized again. Said she'd been doing significant soul searching, that she realized she'd been treating me like an option rather than a priority. Said she understood why I couldn't forgive her. I didn't argue with her assessment, just nodded. Told her I appreciated the apology, but it didn't change the situation. She asked if there was any possibility we could try again down the road. Maybe in a few months or a year. I said no, definitively. She cried a bit. I didn't. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just done. Done attempting to be enough for someone who already decided I wasn't. Done waiting for her to recognize my value. Done being a placeholder in someone else's life plan. I heard through mutual friends that she's been telling people we broke up due to communication issues. That's fine by me. Let her spin whatever narrative she needs. I know the truth. She knows that's sufficient. I'm Marcus, 32 years old, currently single, living with my brother until I locate a new apartment, and I'm not anyone's backup plan anymore. Some people have asked if I feel guilty about changing the marriage license application. Honestly, no. She was about to legally bind herself to someone she didn't actually want. I saved both of us from that disaster. If she genuinely valued me, she wouldn't have said what she said to Amy. The license was just the catalyst that made everything visible. The relationship was already dead the moment she called me temporary. And yes, I could have simply confronted her directly instead of changing the application. But I wanted her to face a consequence of her words in a way she couldn't smooth, talk her way out of. She needed to understand that actions have reactions, words carry weight, and treating people like they're disposable has real consequences.